Appraisals in 2021. What is really going on out there? What is happening? We're going to go over that entire thing. Just make sure you watch, like, and subscribe. Let's get into it. All right, Sasha Chapman here, Chapman Realtor Group, your favorite realtor here in DFW. So we're talking about appraisals, what's really going on in the market, and we're going to cover this whole thing, so watch this entire video. First things first, what is an appraisal? It's an opinion of value. That's it. It's a snapshot in time. It's an opinion of value in which an appraiser comes out to value out the home that you're trying to buy if you're a buyer, or the home you're trying to sell if you're a seller, based off what's going on in the market at that time. And they do that in order to get your loan approved, okay? But it's a snapshot in time. So an appraisal may be worth, on a particular home, $300,000 in January, and then later, come September, that home may be worth $350,000. That is kind of what's going on right now, based off what people are paying. So it's a snapshot in time. Understand that. But what's happening in this market? Let's talk about that. People are going so high on the homes that they're offering to try to win. It's all about winning. Otherwise, you're out there forever trying to figure this whole thing out. That they're just waiving their appraisals. So let me give you an example. Let's say a home is on the market for $300,000. I, as your agent, I run the comps for you based off what I'm seeing. I'm saying, you know what, this house is probably going to value out around $315,000. But in order to win the home, based on what's happening in the market, people are going $330,000 and $350,000, and that's real. That is real. So these two different numbers just don't meet right now. So you have home worth $315,000. You want to go $350,000. Boom, they don't match. That's where you have to make an informed decision. And everybody deciding differently. So that's what's going on in the market. And that's why people are going so much higher. We don't have enough inventory. Blah, 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 blah. Not enough inventory. A lot of buyers. Boom. Here you go. It's a madhouse right now. All right. Now, let's talk about waiving the appraisal, what that actually looks like and what that entails. Here in Texas, you can waive your appraisal if you want to, if you got a conventional offer. Now, we have a form that is put together that allows you to do that. So we're going to talk about fully waiving your appraisal and what that really means. If you fully waive your appraisal, that means you don't care what the appraisal comes in at. You're still going to have an appraisal on the home. So no matter if you're FHA, conventional, VA, USDA, if it's a loan involved, you're getting the home appraised. If you're doing cash, no appraisal. Now, when you can fully waive it, that says, hey, I don't care what it comes in at. Once again, if you're going to be offering $350,000 and the house is going to appraise at $315,000, that means you are going to be bringing the difference. Yeah, that means you're bringing the difference if it doesn't come in at value. So understand that. That means you're going to bring your down payment. That means you're going to bring your closing costs. And that means you're going to bring the shortage of the appraisal. Understand, that's what it means. So when you say, I want to fully waive my appraisal, that's what you're talking about. Okay, that you have the money, you have the scratch to do so. So if you don't have the money to do that, you need to think about that differently. Okay, there's another way you can do it. You can partially waive it. Once again, same example, $315,000 is probably going to appraise that. You want to go $350,000, but you want to protect yourself a little bit and say, you know what, I will waive it up to $335,000. Meaning that as long as the house hits value at $335,000, you're bringing the extra 15 G's. You're comfortable with that. Okay? If it goes at $334,000, you can get out of it, or you guys can try to negotiate again. But if it hits $335,000, $336,000, $337,000, whatever, you're still buying at home and you're obligated to do so. That's what it means. Now, we get this question all the time. Can you waive the appraisal if you're doing VA or FHA? You actually can. Now, it depends on what's going on with your state, if there's a form with that or not, because every state is different. You check with your local realtor to see if you guys actually have a form for that or not. For us here in Texas, the form says you can't do it with an FHA or a VA. Okay. However, you can always get language written in special provisions. It's best to get that done by a lawyer, get a real estate lawyer to give you the right language from that perspective and get that information added in. The only problem with that becomes this. A lot of agents are misinformed about whether you can waive it or not when it comes to the VA and FHA. And that's because there's other forms involved with it that says, oh, that person's still protected. So you need to make sure your agent knows what they're doing. And the lender does too, because you got to get around that other language with the other documents. It's called the FHA, a mandatory clause, the same thing with the VA as well. right? And you have to have the language that makes it airtight, that makes that seller feel confident that you can truly waive that. But a lot of people don't understand that, and there's a lot of misinformation. If I was to ask 10 real estate agents right now, can you waive FHA or VA? We would all disagree. 50% would say yes, 50% would say no. But there's also different rules in different states. So make sure you understand what's going on with your state. Same thing for you, Mr. Seller. This is not just about buyers. Now, what happens if a home doesn't appraise? Let's talk about that. If a home doesn't appraise, a couple things are going to happen. 4 main things are going to happen. Number 1, okay, the seller has to drop the price. Now, we're talking like if it doesn't matter if there's an appraisal waiver in there or not. You know, sometimes to get a deal done, the seller has to drop the price to the appraisal value, okay? Number 2, the buyer brings the extra money, okay? If the buyer actually has the money, they bring the money forward from that perspective, okay? Number 3, the 2 parties meet in the middle, where the seller drops the price a little bit, the buyer comes up a little bit, and boom, kumbaya, we're all moving forward. Number 4, they don't agree. The buyer backs out, deal is dead. Is dead. Now, what happens when that happens? It depends. It really depends. If you sign an appraisal waiver and you waive your right to terminate due to an appraisal, that basically means that you can lose your earnest money. That means if you put down $3,000 or $5,000, the seller can take that money from the title company and get remedies on that. Period. So if you're waiving your right to appraisal, you need to understand your earnest money is at risk. Because what's happening in this market right now, people are just saying, bump it, we'll bring it, we're good, we're going to do it. And then it comes in $15,000 low, and they say, whoa, I was good with $5,000. I wasn't good with $15,000. And people taking risks with these contracts, and then these houses go back on the market. We're seeing a lot of houses come back on the market because that is what's happening, and it's a done deal. Now, here's the thing. Here's a dirty little secret. I'm going to give you guys a dirty secret here. If the home is under contract with VA or FHA and it doesn't appraise, the appraisal stays with that home. Bet you didn't know that, did you?
Well, you wouldn't know about that, would you?
It stays with the home, meaning that if you try to sell that home to another FHA buyer, guess what? They're still stuck with that same appraisal. So if that appraisal comes in low, it doesn't matter what FHA buyer you find next, you're still using that same appraisal. So, Mr. Seller, that means that you need to have a buyer who has the money and needs to show you proof of funds. For my listings, I require people to show me proof of funds when they're going over asking and they are asking for an appraisal waiver. Show us you got the money. Show me the money so I can show it to my client and it will be okay. If they don't do that, it's not that airtight. So it's not offensive if someone is asking you that, Mr. Buyer. It's not being offensive. It's just making sure you can move forward with the deal. So everyone needs to understand how this thing works. But so many people are all over the place. Now, here's one thing. Let's talk about new builds before we're done. New builds. What's going on with appraisal with new builds? It's the same thing. It used to be that new builds like, oh, okay, we'll drop the price so you can come up a little bit more money. Not now, they're not. Because they know if your home doesn't appraise, they can go sell it to the next jack over there for a whole lot more money and they'll guarantee it. So you need to understand the new build contract that you have. Can they actually terminate on you and move forward? More than likely, they can. The builder contract is in their favor. So make sure you and your agent understand that because they will put their house right back out there. They will go highest and best with the next person or something like that and move on. Because if you got that house 5-6 months ago and they're building it, and let's say that house was on the contract for $345, and today they can put that contract right back, the house back out there under contract for $415. And believe me, do they want $415 or $345? Wouldn't you? So you need to understand. Appraisals are a very tricky thing, but I want to make sure you guys understand what's going on in this market right now, because a lot of people are saying a lot of things that quite aren't true, and people are not really that informed. If you're waiving your appraisal, you need to make sure you understand where you are. You can partially waive it as well, but make sure you have this conversation with your real estate agent. And if you don't have a real estate agent, I'll be more than happy to help you. If you're not in my area, I got people that I help, I coach, and I train that will take care of you in your area. All right? Make sure you like, share, subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them down below in the comments. Peace.